It might actually be a little easier if I labeled these axes and I had like plus whatever, minus whatever. Okay, for now, I'm just gonna see if I can animate the camera moving around it. Yeah. Can you render text in these scenes? Yeah, you can. But it won't be like, it won't always face at the camera necessarily. That would take some more implementation to do. So I can... Let me start this. Self.camera.model matrix equals I'll multiply this by by translation matrix with just a small bit. Self, I guess? Actually, how will I call this in an updater? I guess I'd have to add an updater maybe to the axes or something. Let me make this an OpenGL V group. Y-axis, Z-axis. And just add that. Okay, same thing. Then I can do axes, updater, update camera. Ermac, thanks for the follow. I'm going to update the camera here. And when I do that, that's going to translate the... Wait, camera... That's going to translate the camera. But this is going to have to take mobject and DT. So I can just call this DT. Okay, so let me see what that does. And it didn't do anything. Self.camera. Is it self.render.camera or something? Self.camera. This is carrying a camera. Or is it called the view matrix for the camera? It returns self.render.camera. And this camera, yeah, has a model matrix. I wonder if this is formatted. It must not be, actually. Let me just print this. It is changing. Yeah, it is changing on every frame. It's just not being used here. I wonder if that's the GUI or something doing that. Because in scene, Fusion, what's going on? Here it's doing the same thing, translating the model matrix. Maybe this distance just isn't big enough. Let me make this a 1 or something. And that's the wrong one. No, it seems like it's not doing it at all. Is this being... Self.camera.model matrix. I don't get it. The model matrix must not be being passed to the renderer or something. Are you making the tutorial? Yeah, I am. If I can figure out how updaters work. if I can figure out how updaters work. Yeah, that's not doing anything. I'm going to see in the render if it's updating what it's passing to the shaders. Uh-oh. So render here. It'll do refresh perspective uniforms, which I'm not actually sure what this does. Oh, this is for Grant's camera. But here, this is where it's passing the view matrix. It's calling scene.camera.getViewMatrix. matrix. Let me print that. This is the one that's being passed. Okay, so that's being updated. Oh wait, this is for meshes. So then what about for mobjects? Mobjects are here. It's still doing self.scene.camera.getViewMatrix. Oh, I know why. This is because these aren't... This uses Grant's camera, essentially. Which means I can't update it with a model matrix. I have to do self.camera frame dot shift. Did that work? Model view projection has no attribute camera frame. I don't know how to use Grant's camera. Give me a second. And now it gets updated in scene.py. On mouse drag. It's one of these, self.camera.shift. Okay, let me just do 0.1. Oh, it's self.camera. Wait, but if this is with self.camera, how does it update the OpenGL camera? Oh, the one object self.camera has both the model matrix somewhere, a model matrix here that it's supposed to use, and the data that Grant uses. Interesting. Well, gotta get it to work somehow. So shifting right should work. Great. But that's a little worrying. I can make this eventually probably ambient rotate. But if I'm using the camera that Grant wrote, I don't know if it won't be scalable. And it wouldn't be very instructive. What's the problem? So I wrote these axes. Or I added these axes to the scene. And what I want to do is ambient rotate around the Z axis. Like this. That isn't a super hard problem, I don't think. It's kind of hard. It's a little bit hard. But using Grant's camera, I don't think I can do it. Basically. I guess I could make these things like actual 3D tubes. That would solve the problem. Basically. I guess I could make these things like actual 3D tubes. That would solve the problem. Maybe I need to take the tube geometry from 3JS or something. Where is it? This. And then just make it straight. X, Y, Z. You have to give it a path. That'd be kind of annoying. I think I will need something 3D though. For now, maybe I can just make these rectangles, like 2D rectangles, which is pretty much the way these are behaving anyway. Like they just disappear if you look at them in the right angle. And deal with the other stuff afterward. So, I say x-axis. It's gonna have to be a mesh. Okay. How to make a mesh. Something like... Oh, basically exactly this. But for this one, the points, I'll want it to be... near the origin. So if I give this a thickness, I have like x is thickness. I put this to like 0.3. Don't do that. I kind of have to. I think the proper thing to do would be to use tubes like this. But I don't want to write up the code to triangulate this. It will eventually, but just for now, to get started, I'll do it this way. So the x-coordinate of this will be... Oh, wait. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. Also, you guys are in for a treat. I get to try doing this on a tablet, essentially. Okay. If I can move all this stuff. Come on. If I have the x-axis extending this way, and the y-axis extending like this, then if I want to put a triangle or a rectangle here, a rectangle, for example, it'll be red like this. Then I'll need this point, which will be 0 thickness, which I'll just call T 0. This point 0 negative T 0. This and this. And since I can only draw triangles, I have to do something like this. This will be whatever length I want it to be. Then T0, and this will be the length negative T0. Alright, so that'd be the coordinates for the x-axis. So if I bring this back, I'm just going to basically write out those two triangles. So I have axis thickness. I'm going to do 0. Axis thickness 0. The length, which I'll do. Come on. I'll make this 10 for now. The length, which I'll do. Come on. I'll make this 10 for now. Make this axis length. The thickness 0. And then 0, negative thickness 0. 0, negative thickness 0. So that's one triangle. And actually, I'm going to try just using that one yeah, I'll try doing that one triangle. Oh, wait. Yeah, this won't work because these need to be brought into Manim coordinates. So this is just going to be an enormous triangle. Yeah. It's going in the right direction, I guess, though. But I'm going to have to multiply this by the model, by the view and the projection matrices. Which I don't think is so bad. In fact, I think it'll be done automatically in the OpenGL renderer. When a mesh is rendered, rectangle shaped triangle. Yeah, I have to draw triangles. It's going to attempt to set a model view matrix and a projection matrix. Or a view matrix and a projection matrix. So, if I just put this here. I think I named it like this. Now, I can take this position, multiply by the view matrix, multiply by the projection matrix, and now, hopefully, great, so now this is along the x-axis. And if I add the other triangle, zero, negative thickness 0, length thickness 0, and length negative thickness 0. I broke something. Add extra room. But hey, Discrete Games, what's going on? Okay. So now I have the x-axis here. If I bring down this thickness a little... Oh, not this. Okay. I'm ending up... I'm unironically drawing the axes with shaders directly. Which is probably going to be sort of brittle. I guess it's just axes, so it's not a big deal. I guess that's probably fine. Okay. So now the question is, how do I switch this to make it the y-axis? I don't want to have to do the math again. I think I just switch around the variables. If I switch the x and the y coordinates of all of them, I think that'll do it. Right? I'd have to switch the x and the y coordinates and make one of them negative. This isn't that hard of a problem, I think. The question is like, if you have this point, x, y, some point here, and you want the 90 degrees, what's this one? And I'm just gonna, I know you switch these, and one of them is negative, right? The x must be negative. And from that individual example, I'm just going to extrapolate to all of these. And from that individual example, I'm just going to extrapolate to all of these. So hope that works. So let me align this. And move this over. And then make the x negative. -0. What are the odds this works? Probably like 0. It was close. It rotated it the wrong way. This is the y-axis, the green. And it rotated the other way. So how do you rotate it the other way? I guess I just make all of the y coordinates. You're trying to rotate the axis? Yeah. Like I could just do the math. There, I did it. This is the y-axis now. Cool. So what I'll do now... Can't we use flip? What do you mean by flip? I'm sure there's a flip function somewhere. Okay, I'm just gonna make this all of these. This will be red. This will be green. I'll change this data type so it takes a position and a color. And this is 3-dimensional. There's 12 of them, that's fine. I'll pass an additional vec3 color. I'll pass it through the vertex shader. Let's call it color, and maybe call this one, I don't know, V color. V color equals just color. Then here, this will take an in the vec3 V color. And the color I'll pass here, or the vec4 will be color, V color, comma 1. I can't believe I wrote that much GLSL and other code without just destroying something. The way that these intersect is pretty ugly. But what are you gonna do? Now for the z-axis. Maybe for the z-axis I should just not try to copy paste this. Maybe. I guess it wouldn't be too different. I'll just write it out again. I'll be safe. The situation now is that if this is the z-axis, then this has to be the x-axis, and the y-axis has to be going into the screen. And so if I want to draw this triangle, rectangle, then I'll need these points. This one is negative thickness, but wait. Negative thickness, 0, 0. This is thick, negative thickness, but wait. Negative thickness, 0, 0. This is thickness, 0, 0. And this is just thickness, 0, length. And negative thickness, 0, length. So that's what I'll need. So let me do those things. So negative axis, 0, 0. I'll do positive thickness, 0, 0. And then thickness, 0, length. Like that. And to do this, I'll have to add these points up to 18, add the color. Make that blue. Yeah, I'll start with another one. So negative thickness, 0, 0. Negative thickness, 0, length. And thickness, 0, length. Great. So now I have all the axes. Not the nicest looking thing in the world, and they get clipped. Well, like all meshes will get clipped. But I guess that works. So now I can remove this. And what I'm hopefully, maybe I can get rid of some of that clipping if I edit the projection matrix. I'm gonna call this axes, add axes. Okay. Now let me try to edit that projection matrix. If I go to the OpenGL utils, it's using a perspective projection matrix by default. And maybe the near the far? I guess I want to up the far. This might break some stuff. Okay. Lets me zoom out a little more. I can't fit the whole thing though. So I'll try to up that even more. Maybe like 25 and like... Maybe put this to 2. Hopefully. Okay, that lets me get pretty close. and lets me get pretty far. So that's good. Then I can update this length. Great. Now this, it's probably possible to write some ambient camera rotation. I think. So then the question will be, how would I transform the camera's matrix so that it always points at the same target? And I think I actually did this before. I do this with the orbit controls already. Like this. So I just have to do whatever that does when I right click. So look at scene.py. Right click drag is this. Camera x-axis, horizontal shift